It sounds like science fiction, but once you see it, I mean, it's like, I can show you. So all of these things, like you see over here, you see the construction zone and the blood that's been harvested. So the biggest thing, though, is that a lot of the blood isn't moving, right? So if I just show you here, for example, this is somebody who came here. This is somebody who came, you know, before treatment. You see these polymer filaments, and you see significant oxidative stress and a lot of construction zones. So, you know, after 3 days of treatment, you know, the blood looks like this. I mean, much improved. This is normal blood. Okay? So, it's not supposed to be clumpy like that. Here you can see a couple. You see how that has here's a filament that has been constructed, and how this bubble is building a chip right there. And this stuff, you know, I've shown that because it is sprayed from the sky, you know, it is, you know, it's in animals, it's in the food, it's, I mean, we're getting it from a lot of different things, but in the literature now, this stuff is being described as microplastics, and they've, for example, shown that on autopsies, a brain now has about 7 grams of microplastics. That's like a teaspoonful of plastic in people's brain, and 13 different microplastics in the heart muscle. Here you see how the polymer filament has multiple colors. You know, they're calling, some of the doctors are calling this amyloid. It's not amyloid. The spike protein sequence at pH of 4 was making amyloid, but at 7, which is the pH of the human body, it was creating hydrogel, and hydrogel is used for the brain-computer interface. So what you see that the cells are in high oxidative stress, meaning they've been hijacked, and then you see that they're very quickly degrading. You know, we just have been looking at the blood here for a few minutes, and it shouldn't be degraded like that. So that's saying, you know, you're missing a vital antioxidant, the cell membranes need to be regenerated, and then that would be very, very helpful. Here you see this thing is definitely technology. I mean, you can see that I'm not making this stuff up. You can find it. These are all, if I dial down the light a little bit, you can see how it's made of a polymer fabric with robots, micro robots inside. So graphene is one aspect of it. You cannot see graphene under the microscope, but you can see, you know, other, like you can see the polymers, and And you can see how much there's. So I took 1 drop from you, right? And all of these things are in there. And what you see is not only is the blood clumped, but the background is dirty. So what that means is this stuff here, these hairs, that's fibrin. And fibrin goes up when there's a lot of acidity in the body, and then that causes low voltage, accelerated aging, but then it also clumps up as microclots. So this thing here, these are fibrin microclots that can also plug up the circulation further. So you shouldn't be seeing these hairs. It indicates that, like I said, that there's a lot of acidity because the oxygen is low in terms of this stuff. So, you know, even when you do the Tesla, you can help with recharging the cells, but because the technology's in there, it will just keep stealing from you again and then clump it back up, you know? So it's useful to clean this stuff up for sure. Anyway, so that's sort of you know, very commonly seen, you know, by anybody that I look at the blood. You can pretty much see that in most people, and then don't know about it, and then, you know, that's how the aging process gets accelerated.
And so I was like, whoa, I have microchips being built right inside of me right now, and you were basically saying that that's normal. Almost every single person has it. And this is something that kind of blew my mind. I didn't know it was this advanced. I kind of thought that people got lethally injected with the COVID vaccine and stuff. They were the ones that had all these microchips and stuff in them. But you were telling me, and we'll get into this, that it's in the chemtrails, it's in the air, it's in the food. Basically everyone has it. So you might be thinking, oh, so I probably have all these microchips inside of me. We'll get what that's all about as well. We'll get into that. Bill Gates 666 patent, that's all very related actually. And Anna knows all about it. She's actually written about it in a number of books. This is a huge book here called Light Medicine. It's a new paradigm for the science of light, spirit, and longevity. Incredible book. You definitely got to check out. And she's also written these books. Sorry, I'll let you talk in a second. I'll just introduce you here. Transhuman, the real COVID-19 agenda. We're going to get into that in this video. And then Transhuman, overcoming the global depopulation agenda. And she's got facts covering all of these things. She's probably one of the biggest researcher, whistleblower on all this stuff, and how she even came into all this stuff is also very interesting. We might not even be able to get into that in this video, how she downloaded all this information and came upon it. But so much incredible information about what's going on. And like I said, you might get kind of like scared. This might seem very depressing at first. It's like, oh, well, they seem to have already turned everyone into transhumans. They already got the operating systems in all of us. There's some good news. You can actually get most of it out. And we're going to get into that in this video as well. You've also been working with the Tesla machine. So much to get into. Let's get right into it. Dr. Anna Mihalcea, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for being here and coming to visit. It's been a great opportunity. And so I definitely think that there's a lot of reason for hope. and that I'm a huge fan of the Tesla machine, and I've been doing quite a bit of research on it. And I sort of changed the course of what I was doing in terms of whistleblowing about all the self-assembling nanotechnology, because I just felt like, I want to really focus on what's life-giving, and instead of all the time on the stuff that's, potentially killing people. And what my overall view is at this point is that yes, this stuff is in everything. The rainwater analysis showed these more gallant polymer filaments as well as graphene and these toxic heavy metals, which are building blocks for advanced nanotechnology. And Clifford Carnicum, that I've worked with and done research with, we showed that the technology is very similar to what was put into the COVID injections. But the problem with the COVID injections was, and this was also in the Pfizer documents, that there was this aspect called shedding, which showed that if an unvaccinated man just inhaled the air around a vaccinated woman, that man could transfer the vaccine to another unvaccinated woman.
Which is so interesting because they tried to make everyone wear masks for a supposed virus called COVID, which never really existed, which actually you kind of got. We'll get into that maybe in this. This woman is incredibly interesting. We could go have an 8-hour interview here, but they tried to make everyone wear a mask so they didn't get the virus, but they had already injected them with the operating systems, and that actually does transmit even just through breath. So it's kind of like funny that they kind of told people all these things, and it's actually all the exact opposite. They were this to be safe. They already injected everyone with this stuff. There's some good news. There's ways to get it out. We'll get into that, but continue on.
And the nanotechnology also comes out of the skin. So, for example, one of the things that I've shown with a DoD whistleblower that the vaccinated people that had this fluorescent glow on their face, orange glow, and blue filaments come out of their skin. And that's very similar to what I've also seen in the blood. And it turns out that that shedding comes through all of these different ways. It comes through the skin. Dr. Young-Mi Lee from South Korea published a paper that showed that in male sperm, this technology is present as well as in the blood. And even in the Advanced Chemical Society literature, they're talking about microplastics now. They've shown that the amount of microplastics has increased by over 50% in the last few years. Well, it turns out that the Moderna patent clearly says that they're using stealth nanoparticles, including polyvinyl alcohol, which is plastic, polyamides, which can be nylon, spider silk, and these polyurethane, for example, which is styrofoam, and even polymetacrylate, which is super glue, as nanoparticles in these injections. And it turns out that Clifford Carnicum and I, we analyzed actually the clots from vaccinated, unvaccinated people, and found exactly these chemicals in these clots as well. So this is called the technocratic transhumanist agenda, and it is about fusing humanity with this technology, and also about hijacking the soul. One of my heroes who was assassinated, I believe he was killed this year, was Dr. Robert Duncan. He was a CIA whistleblower who developed the AI software platform for the intelligence communities to basically track and trace humans, but also he was the one who blew the whistle on the fact that the global population is being surveilled, all of their brainwave function for years by supercomputers underground by the government. And so he verified the targeting program, which I was advisory board member for Targeted Justice, and basically shown that these that individuals have been injected with microchips for a long time. This is not a new thing, but that now with this global reset, as Yuval Harari said, and also WF founder Klaus Schwab, that the COVID-19 agenda was really about this fourth industrial revolution, which is all about the biodigital convergence. And you can find that in you know, a lot of even legislative paperwork and documentation of, for example, the European Commission, who discusses that by the year 2050, a new species called the transhumans will emerge, and that it's all about human enhancement, because the technocrats believe that humanity is imperfect the way we're made, and that if we were implanted with these technologies, we could be so much smarter. And this is also what Ray Kurzweil discusses. Ray Kurzweil wrote the book The Singularity is Near, and he said that by 2030 there will be nanorobots and microrobots swimming in people's blood, that they'll be literally replacing us atom by atom. So we no longer need hospitals or surgeries. Everything can be done remotely by artificial intelligence. And as I've shown in the blood, it's like, you know, everybody already has this stuff.
Yeah. You know, just the thought that I've got all these, and you actually showed me, like, it's actually building the microprocessors as we're just looking at it. And as you mentioned, this has been going on for a long time. This isn't even recent. And you pointed out, Yuval Harari, as I call him, he says humans are now hackable animals, and basically that's the case. And you actually pointed out to me that they've been doing this for decades, so this isn't even necessarily totally new. I think it's gotten much, much, much worse now. But even yourself during the COVID pandemic, you were told, do you want to tell that story about how you were told by 3 different sort of insider government sort of people that you were being targeted, and how they did target you using basically the nanotech?
Well, yeah, I mean, one of the ways of how I really figured this stuff out was that I ended up with respiratory failure, but that happened under very mysterious circumstances, because I had 3 different